To give you a snapshot of the situation at this hour, we are currently experiencing the third major storm system in the past 10 days. They just seem to keep coming and coming, and it's highly unusual to have this kind of intense storm activity in such quick succession. So as you know, these storms have caused widespread power outages. Trees weakened by the drought and saturated soil have come down. Flooding and mudslides have affected many areas. This has created a double whammy, if you will, a loss of power from downed wires and poles and restricted access to make assessments and repairs. Despite these challenging conditions, since the start of this event on New Year's Eve, we've restored power to more than 1.6 million customers. 4 out of 5 have been restored within 12 hours, and 90% have been restored within 24 hours. At this moment, the storm has caused outages in 42 counties, so this is a very widespread event. We have approximately 2,200 active outages affecting 87,000 customers. The areas with the highest numbers of impacted customers are in the South Bay and Central Coast areas and the North Valley and Sierra. Our focus will continue to be on safely accessing the damage and then making the repairs to get the lights back on as quickly as possible. Typically, we prefer to provide an estimated time of restoration only once an outage is assessed so that our estimates can be accurate and specific to the conditions. However, when there's extensive damage like we're seeing today, it can sometimes take a while to assess the situation. We know that this is very frustrating for customers who need information to keep their family safe and their businesses running. So we're drawing on 30 years of historical data and our operations team's expertise to provide restoration estimates no later than 24 hours after the outage starts, even if we haven't been able to access the outage to assess it. While these restoration estimates will be data informed and based on decades of experience, the most accurate restoration times still come from putting eyes on the situation. We are committed to providing daily updates as we get more clarity on when we can complete the assessment and restore service. We also plan to provide daily updates at the county level that will be available at pgecurrents.com and linked from our pge.com outages webpage. Of course, the storm activity isn't finished, and so let's now get an update on weather from Ted.
Good afternoon. A series of winter storms will continue to impact northern and central California with periods of gusty winds, moderate to heavy rainfall, and mountain snow. The current storm was one of the strongest storms we've seen this winter, with multiple inches of rain and flooding in some areas, in addition to strong winds. It will continue to affect the southern part of the territory into tonight, with continued heavy rain and strong winds. The northern part of the territory will see a break for the rest of today before the next storm arrives overnight with more rain and gusty winds. But unlike the current one, the storm tomorrow has a chance for more scattered thunderstorms. After the storm tomorrow, rain and breezy winds will mostly be confined to the northern part of the territory, with the southern part of the territory seeing dry weather through Friday. The next system-wide storm is expected over the weekend, with more rain, gusty winds, and mountain snowfall, although it's currently not expected to be as strong as the previous storms. That may be followed by one last storm early next week before the storm cycle may finally end around the middle part of next week and we move back to dry weather.
Thanks, Ted. So as you've heard, this is an historic series of storms, and we are meeting it with an historic storm response. This is the largest response effort PG&E has ever assembled for a winter storm event. More than 5,800 PG&E, contract, and mutual aid personnel are currently dedicated to storm response so we can safely get power back on as quickly as possible. This also includes the support of crews from Southern California, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado, Washington, Wisconsin, and Canada. Of that number, 90% are working out in the field serving you. In addition, we have hundreds of additional PG&E coworkers here in our Emergency Operations Center, as well as in regional and divisional emergency centers working around the clock. We thank all these folks for their support, and we also want to thank our labor partners at the IBEW Local 1245 and ESC Local 20 for their shared focus and support on safety. I want to stress that we've taken a number of steps to minimize the impact of these storms on our customers. First and foremost, we have positioned crews and equipment in the regions that we expected to be hardest hit. We have set up base camps in Mendocino County and Santa Cruz County to house hundreds of field personnel, including contractors and camp support staff. Even before this week, we've been working throughout the year to make our system more resilient ahead of the storm season. This work includes trimming more than 1 million trees away from our power lines over the course of the year. We've pre-staged replacement power poles, transformers, and other electric equipment throughout our service area to allow for quicker response. And using our outage prediction models to determine where we redeploy our crews, we've been able to get folks in position for the hardest hit areas. We're also serving 6,300 customers through large-scale temporary generation that we pre-staged currently in Humboldt and Sonoma counties. Before we go to some regional updates, I want to stress that as we go out to restore power, we are encountering challenges that could delay our efforts and extend our customers' outages. Conditions such as flooding, mudslides, downed trees, heavy snow might block our way, and this is particularly the case in higher elevations where we also face avalanche risk. We expect that the weather will continue to cause widespread outages, and I want to reiterate, we will restore power as soon as it's safe for our crews to do so. We understand that many customers have had long outages, and we are prioritizing these outages as conditions allow. I'll now turn it over to Ron Richardson to provide updates on where our crews are working and what other activities are happening regionally.
Thank you, Adam. So let me go through some of the crew counts that we have right now that are inside the regions. So Bay Region has 87 crews, Central Valley has 81, North Coast has 167, North Valley Sierra has 77, South Bay Central Coast has 103. We do have additional crews that are coming in today in the next few days as we go through this event, and we're expecting to have close to 600 crews in the PG&E service territory. I want to go through now some of the outage counts that we have per region. In the Bay Region, we are showing 219 outages impacting 17,325 customers. In Central Valley, 425 outages impacting 19,612. North Valley Sierra, 499 outages impacting 19,240. And in South Bay Central Coast, 286 outages impacting 23,832. We're looking today too, we're looking to pick up at least another 20 to 25,000 customers from that event. One of the things we're also doing in this event is we're mobilizing our temp generation fleet. Currently, right now, we are generating an area called Willow Creek in Hoopaw. That's up in our Trinity and Humboldt area with 8.75 megawatts at Willow Creek, supporting 2,447 customers. In Hoopaw, 6.25 megawatts, supporting 2,083 customers. Petrolia, which is west of Garberville, 2.5 megawatts, supporting 198 customers. Salmon Creek, which is west Sonoma County, near the area of Bodega Bay, 5 megawatts, supporting 1,800 customers. And now we have an area called Point Moretti, which is in the Santa Cruz area, with 6.8 megawatts, supporting 600 customers. Some of the hardest hit areas right now, and I'm going to go by regions. I'll start out with the North Coast area. The areas of Oric and Trinidad have some extended ETORs. We are doing everything we can right now to bring additional resources to pull those times in. We're also seeing significant damage in the areas of Fort Bragg, Manchester, Point Arena, and the area of Guala. In that area, Adam spoke a little bit earlier. We do have 2 base camps that are set up. That's one in Point Arena and one in Guala. And the reason why we do that, it brings our crews closer to the work. It brings our material closer to work to help speed up those restorations. We're also seeing quite a bit of damage also in the West Sonoma County. We're seeing a lot of damage in Fort Ross. We're seeing it in Guerneville, Sebastopol, Forestville, and Bodega Bay. Moving to North Valley and Sierra, Sacramento has been hit continuously through this event in Yolo and Solano counties. But today, looking at the screen, we're seeing a lot of restoration that's going to happen today to pick up a majority of those customers. In the Bay region also, right now, for the new storm that came through, the Half Moon Bay area got hit extensively. But again, we'll make extensive progress this afternoon in Half Moon Bay. And then moving down to South Bay and Central Coast, And from last night's impacts, we've seen a lot of impacts in the Santa Cruz, Monterey, Templeton, and also San Luis Obispo. We will see delays in these areas due to the severe weather that's coming through right now. And once that weather does pass, our crews and our assessment teams are ready to respond. In Central Valley, another area like Sacramento, Stockton. Stockton got a hit last night. But talked to the local IC in that area. They do feel very confident to make significant restoration efforts this afternoon.
Thanks, Ron. All right, let me close with our customer communication and support efforts. Remember, customers can view real-time outage information at www.pge.com/outage. This site has support in 16 different languages. To support customers in areas experiencing extended outages, we are completing the following things. We're providing nearly 2,000 go bags with water, snacks, a battery pack for charging devices, and blankets at warming centers in El Dorado, Humboldt, San Mateo, Sonoma, and Yolo counties. Our community-based partners are also prepared to support customers in need. The California Foundation for Independent Living Centers offers support for older adults and people with disabilities through the Disability Disaster Access and Resources Program. And the California Network of 211 can connect customers to resources in their local areas. With that, thank you, and please stay safe, and we will continue to keep you updated on our efforts and will not stop working until every customer has power restored.